Money, a necessary evil in life. Can't get anywhere without it. We need to provide shelter, food, transportation, along with other general wants and needs. Without it, we simply couldn't survive. So how does one earn money? Work. Millions of people go to work every day. With millions of different kinds of jobs, there will obviously be different amounts of pay. This is how we separate wealth classes. Higher paying jobs will obviously give more money, making the wealth distribution in America even less equal than you may think. Imagine that instead of the 300 million people in America, we only have 100, ranging from those living on the streets, to teachers, coaches, lawyers, up to CEOs and a celebrity or two. The green rectangles represent the wages they earn. This graph shows the actual wealth distribution between the top 1% in poverty. The poorest Americans don't even get anything on this graph, and the top 1% goes up past the top of the graph. This is where people have debates about raising minimum wage and or having a max earnings someone can make to help distribute the wealth. Minimum wage is a large topic that has been open to debate for a long time, whether to increase or decrease it. The most current debate is to raise it to $15 an hour. Some states like New York have already agreed to this and will be fully in effect by 2019. Jeanne Sahadi from CNN writes in her article, "New York lawmakers strike a deal for $15 minimum wage," states, "For most New York City businesses, the minimum wage will rise to $11 at the end of 2016, then increase by $2 each year until it hits $15 by the end of 2018. But businesses with 10 or fewer employees will get an extra year. Their minimum wage will rise to $10.50 at the end of this year, then go up by $1.50 each year until it reaches $15 by the end of 2019. People believe that by increasing minimum wage, it will be easier for people to live. However, on the other side, businesses do not like this idea because that means that the cost of hiring new people would increase, meaning they would eventually have to lay off more people if they can't supply the $15 minimum wage."
Along with this, employees argue that it's extremely difficult to live off of minimum wage, and they support the idea for an increase in the minimum wage so that they can support themselves and their families. However, others argue that the minimum wage was never meant to be a living wage, but more of a starting point for young, inexperienced workers. Others also believe that if someone has an issue with not making enough money, then they should go to college and earn a higher degree to find another job that pays more. Seniority is also another issue argued about by employees. This is on the basis that the longer one works at a company, the more they should be paid. Others feel that it should be based on the amount of effort and skill you have instead of the period of time that someone has worked there. Employees also argue that the head or committee should have different ethnicities or sexes as the CEO or on the head committee of a company to have some variety so it doesn't look as if all the people for a company are predominantly one ethnicity.
Gender inequality seems to be one of the largest issues within the workplace today. There have been many cases to where women have actually lost their jobs because they've accused their employer of this issue. In the article, Biggest Stories About Gender Inequality at Work, written by Lee Zhao, she states, in a $60 million lawsuit, Ellen Powell sued her former employer for gender discrimination. She alleged that the company overlooked her for promotions on the basis of gender and later terminated when she brought up the issue. Not only does this apply to women, but also to non-white Americans as well. The article Working While Brown, What Discrimination Looks Like Now, written by Tazina Vega, gives out statistics on how the black community feels they are being affected. One part states, more generally, studies have also shown that resumes with black-sounding names like Jamal or Lakeisha are less likely to get a response than resumes with white-sounding names like Emily or Brendan. Another quote states, according to CNN and Kaiser Family Foundation poll on race in America, 69% of blacks and 57% of Hispanics say past and present discrimination is a major reason for the problems facing people of their racial or ethnic group. And 26% of blacks and 15% of Hispanics said they felt that they had been treated unfairly because of their race or ethnicity at their place of work in the past 30 days.
Questioning the authority of the lead committee of companies is also a trending topic when it comes to discrimination or racism in the workplace. Employees see that the company is showing inequality because the leaders of the committee are predominantly white males. The victims believe that if it were mandatory to have multiple races and/or sexes on the lead committee, the company would be better off and show that they are fair to all ethnicities and sexes.
I think nowadays it is, but I don't think it should be. Does that make sense? Does it explain? No?
No, I don't. I think it's based off of how hard people work, but there always seems to be people who try to make it about gender and things, so it just seems like it is, but it's not.
Yes, I do, because like studies show that one woman makes 79 cents per $1 of a man makes.
I think it is to an extent, but if it should be, I say no, because it should be on how hard you work and like the college degree you have to back that your job up.
I think that if they go into it, it is unjustified and it should not be a part of what determines somebody's wage. They should be paid based on what they do and their education and their work ethic.
I don't think it should increase to $15, but I do believe that it should increase like somewhat, because it actually also shows that if it kept up with inflation, minimum wage would be roughly $20 today. I think it kind of depends on the job. I have no issue with minimum wage. I think people should learn to deal with the cards that they're dealt. And normally before you get a job, you're aware of your wage. So I think if you're unhappy with that, then you should.
Minimum wage will always increase through the times that we live in. Like, it used to be like $2 and it's gotten up to $7.25. I think minimum wage as it should be now should not increase until the dollar demand makes it that way to be increased. I think minimum wage is meant for high school kids and like for us to get a head start in the work class.
I believe the minimum wage should stay the same because, as you can see throughout multiple businesses in America, including large corporations, they are increasing their minimum wages. For example, I work for Kohl's. They paid $9 an hour. McDonald's pays $9 an hour. Most businesses that are ethically inclined do not pay minimum wage anymore, and that's because there's a demand. And we should let the free market determine minimum wage, not the government, because it raises prices then.
Yeah. Minimum wage is like for people in high school, and I think if you can't live off of like what you're getting, you need to figure out as an individual how to succeed. Like, does that make sense? Like if you're not substantially like figuring something out, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, like if you
That's
can't live
on
off of
that's
it,
on you, not on your boss.
like if you can't live off of it, you should like get more education, get a better job.
No, I think government should have nothing to do with minimum wage at all. It should be the businesses that think that they can handle a wage to just pay their people. If it's more than that, it's great. If it's not, it's their company's
Yes, there should be a livable wage. The state would have a difficulty mandating that because you cannot tell a business how much to pay its employees except through the minimum wage. Anything beyond that is infringing upon a business's freedom and liberties and its ability to grow and succeed. And if we mandate that a business makes so much money that it has to pay its employees X amount of dollars to make a livable wage, then if that business doesn't succeed, those people don't have jobs anymore.
I think they should. If you've stuck around long enough and you are doing your job correctly over years, you should be making more than the people who have just left.
Seniority, I think they should all be equal, like the same. I mean, seniority again, you have more experience and time, so you will get paid more because you have more experience and can contribute more. So I think seniority can have a part in how much you are paid. No problem more.
I believe that you should get paid by the skill that you provide to the company.
I think that should not matter because some young kid could have a better work ethic than someone that's been there for 50 years, and they should get paid more than that person because they can work harder and they have more energy.
No, that's not what determines wage. People should be paid based on how hard they work, their work ethic. Same things I outlined before. It's not about how old they are or what race they are. It should be about their education, their work ethic, how much they put
That depends on the job. Like if a woman can perform better at some sort of job or whatever, she should be there. But I don't think you should rule out, like, she shouldn't work here because she's a woman. If she can perform the same duties as a man or better, that's a better opportunity for everyone in the long run.
No, it's based on your work and not race. So if they're bad workers, then no.
No, I also believe that it should be based upon how skilled you are.
No, I do not believe in affirmative action. That's stupid. That's racist right there in itself. I believe that whoever works hard and has got enough that company, no matter race or gender, should just get that job.
Absolutely not. That's not what should determine anything in our country. We shouldn't look at things based on gender or race. We should look at things based on their qualifications. That is going to tear apart businesses. It creates racism rather than getting rid of it. Because people are going to be looking for people of certain colors rather than just looking for people of certain abilities.
No, I'm like really against that. Like if you are working hard, you should be making the money you're making. You shouldn't have to support the people that are not trying to better themselves and society. And I should just leave it at that.
Alright, thank you.
Yes.
That's to people who work hard and have spent the time in schooling and like had long periods of times to get to where they are, while some people like have nothing and it's too bad for them, but they don't get to just say, oh, this person's making too much, so now I get to make all.
Alright, thank you.
Once again, no, because it should be based on how much skill you have, training, education.
Alright, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
No, if you work hard and you make more money, that's your money. You should do it. Thank you.
No, not at all. If a business is successful, it is successful because the people that built it up. And those people are there because they are being paid the most competitive wage for the specific job they are doing. So, if everybody in that business is there because they are earning a competitive wage for their education and skill level, they should get the wage they have, and the person at the top of that business deserves to make as much as they are making.
Thank you.